Hello everybody, it is June 2025 and I miss BookTube terribly, so I'm coming back. For those of you who followed the channel for a while, you know that I was very active up until about 2023. That is when I was elected to the Minnesota House of Representatives. Which I know is a weird thing to say on BookTube, but is the truth. That's my job. And because of that, I stopped posting very regularly, and I've still been reading a lot of fantasy, and still obviously love reading, but haven't been a part of the community. And honestly, I just miss it. I've been so focused on this new career that I felt like I haven't had the bandwidth to do it, but just last couple months, I really just decided that I wanted to come back and not just like time to time videos, like try to really be present as I was back in the day. Miss a lot of my friends on here, miss talking books, miss live discussions, all that kind of stuff. So here we go, first TBR in a long time. This is for June. I've already started some of these, but thought I would, make a TBR even if it's a little late. So here we go. First off, in May, I read my first Discworld book ever, Mort, by Terry Pratchett. Obviously, it's the first in the Death series, and I liked it so much. I made a review on it a couple weeks ago. Feel free to check it out. And I immediately said, hey, I need to read another Discworld book, and I wanted to stay within the Death series. And so the next book in that series is Reaper Man by Terry Pratchett. I am excited to get going. I don't know if this is going to include Mort or not from the first book. I assume Death will be in here for sure because his picture is there on the front. But I'm excited that Discworld is a whole new thing for me, and I'm just now starting to explore it. This will be my second book, and hopefully it won't disappoint. If I get through this and like it, or at the very least am curious about continuing, which I imagine I will be, I do have the third book in that trilogy, which is, I think it's more than a trilogy, but like the first three Death books, I think is considered sort of like a series loosely with called Soul Music. Now, probably most of you know, Discworld was not linear. It's not like highly connected. They're normally standalones. So, this could change depending on what I think of Reaper Man, but I'm going to try to probably read both of these in June. We will see. It depends on, I'm reading one rather large book that I'll get to in a second that will certainly dictate which way I will go there. But Soul Music is quite a lot bigger than both Mort and Reaper Man. So I'm hoping that that'll be a good sign, and I'll be excited to get into it, but we will see. Also, let me know in the comments below, my Mort review did all right. With Discworld, should I do reviews for every single book or kind of wait for larger series overviews? I haven't seen a lot of Discworld on BookTube, so I'm thinking I might just do one for every book. But let me know if you have other thoughts. Another new series, well, I guess not a new series, new genre. I guess it's a series. Classic, mystery. I'm going to be reading my first Sherlock Holmes novel in June. This has been staring at me on the shelf for a while. I got this complete Sherlock Holmes collection. It's the Barnes & Noble Classics. Had it sitting up there on the shelf for a while. And I thought, what a great way to kick off summer read of both getting a good classic in. It's short, kind of give me some momentum as I'm getting my legs back under me on BookTube and just in reading more purposefully. The first book is A Study in Scarlet, and it's 97 pages. I mean, this is kind of it's a class, or it's a Barnes & Noble class collection, so small text, but still pretty short book. I think will be a quick read, and I'm really interested to see how this measures up to my idea of Sherlock Holmes, because obviously I know the character quite well through a lot of contemporary media and TV show and movies. So I want to see how that measures up in the beginning. So Study in Scarlet. Next book up, I think if you have been following my channel for a long time, you'll be very excited because for the first time in quite a long time, I'm going back to the Malazan world with a new read. Now, really, this channel, if it's focused on anything, it's focused on Malazan. Reading that for the first time was what really prompted me to get into BookTube. My Malazan and postmodern philosophy video is consistently my best performing video of all time. I'm very proud of it. And so this is obviously very close to my heart. I love Malazan. It's my favorite book series of all time. But I've had a difficult time getting into the E.N.C. Esslemont books, which are sort of standalone novels that go along with the Malazan Book of the Fallen, tie in roughly sort of parallel universes or parallel events, like, the Malazan Book of the Fallen, even within its series, kind of like that. But I've struggled. The first 2 books in here is Knight of Knives, which is like a fun, almost novella, and then Return of the Crimson Guard. I did a review on it, and I rewatched that review, and I don't think I did a great job articulating why I didn't like it so much, but it really killed my momentum for going on with the ICE books, as we call them, E.N.C. Esslemont, in the Malazan community. My Malazan reading, if I've done it, has been back to the Book of the Fallen and rereading some of those. I've reread Dead House Gates and Memories of Ice and Gardens of the Moon before a new experience. So it's time to get back here. So I will be reading Stonewielder, the E.N.C. Esslemont book, and I'm hoping to do some good content with that and hopefully get some booktubers, Malazan booktubers, to talk about it, to help me process this ICE book. The other thing that I am reading is I am doing a President's Club read-through where I'm reading one biography for every U.S. president, and I'm finishing the 5th book, which is on James Monroe by Tim McGrath. I'm listening to that. It's a very, very large, chunky book, and I'm really, really enjoying this read-through. I love history, and this has been a great experience reading the first 4. And once I finish the 5th one, I'm actually going to put together a larger video both on the history of the first 5 presidents and some thoughts on those books. Please, please, if you're watching this video, watch that video that's going to come out so I can continue to make those, because that's just something that I'm very excited about. But that won't be for a couple weeks because I think it'll take a lot of research and organization and writing and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm reading in June. Let me know if you have read any of these books. Let me know what you're reading in June. I also want to start doing something differently on the channel this time around, is trying to incorporate more of me watching film. I love movies. I love cinema. I owned a movie theater. I owned and operated a small independent movie theater and coffee shop for a long time. 4 years. Really enjoyed it. It's a big part of my life, and I want to share it with BookTube as well. And so I'm going to add a little section here at the end called TBW, which is to be watched, what I'm watching in June. I watch a lot of movies, but I usually try to have some focused viewing experiences. And so there are 3 things that I will probably be doing this month that I'll try to report back on in the wrap up as well as far as movies. One is one of my favorite podcasts is a podcast called Blank Check with Griffin and David. If you've never listened to it and you like movies, I would highly recommend it. And they go through individual directors. I'm listening to their back catalog, some episodes that I haven't listened to because I didn't start listening to this episode, the podcast till 2023. And they're doing a series on director Cameron Crowe. So I'll be watching a lot of Cameron Crowe movies. There's some that I have seen, like Almost Famous, but there's a lot that I haven't seen. Jerry Maguire, Vanilla Sky, Elizabethtown, We Bought a Zoo, a couple others that I am looking forward to see and experience, because I love kind of going through a filmography of just one director and seeing how they change. Secondly, something I'm looking forward to watching is some more Wes Anderson movies. Wes Anderson has a new film coming out, The Venetian Scheme, this month, and I'm going to go watch that. And normally when there's new movies that come out, I want to catch up or rewatch some of my favorites. Specifically with him, I haven't seen the Darjeeling Unlimited. It's the only film of his, full-length film, that I haven't seen. So I want to watch that this month. My goal is to do that, and then I'll probably rewatch Asteroid City. That's probably my second favorite Wes Anderson. It goes back and forth with Grand Budapest, and I haven't watched it in a while since it kind of first came out on streaming, and so I want to do that again. Thirdly, actually, I thought of a 4th thing, so there's going to be 4. Sorry. Third is 28 Months Later is coming out. I think it's called 28 Months Later, 28 Years Later. Maybe it's 28 Years Later. Anyway, 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later are 2 seminal zombie films that I have not seen. So I'm going to go back and watch those 2 films. Cillian Murphy's in the first one. I don't know about the second one. Be ready to watch that 3rd one when it comes out in theaters. So I'll be watching those. And then 4th and finally, this is a big one. I think people might be the most excited about this one, honestly, on this channel. And that is, I'm going to be watching Andor, the Star Wars TV show about Cassian Andor, who is the main character in Rogue One. I've heard a lot of good things about this, but honestly, Rise of Skywalker really, really burned my Star Wars appetite. But I've kind of gotten to the point where I want to get back into it. And so many people, even people who are not Star Wars fans, have said they enjoy Andor, that I want to check it out. So I will. And I think I'm going to do Andor Season 1, Andor Season 2 reviews on the channel, because I've seen a couple other fantasy channels do that, and so it's something I could do, and it's maybe a way of talking about visual mediums a little bit more on the channel. Let me know if you like the TBW section, or if you like Say to an Athlete, stick with sports. Andy, stick with books. I hope you don't. Hopefully you enjoy this. Excited to be back. First in, last out.